Florida, you're a young guy. I mean, South Florida's insane.
Yeah.
It's always had beautiful women. The weather here is amazing. It's very different from New York, where we come from. The snow, and the smoke and the hustle and bustle. Come to Florida. How was life? Were you the middle class guy, higher class guy?
Life was great. My dad did well. We weren't, I wouldn't consider us rich. We certainly weren't poor.
Sure.
But we did well. But we were able to move to a place called Turnberry Isle.
Okay, yeah.
And Turnberry at the time, it was created by Don Sofa, who's the pioneer of, to me, all of South Florida. He's one of the
huge.
kings, and now his kids have taken over and done fantastic. But it was one of the greatest experiences for me because I got to interact with all these super rich people. I mean, I don't think they were billionaires back then, but mega, mega rich people. And because I was young at the time, 14, 15, 16, these guys all saw my hustle, and they saw a part of them when they were young. And I had guys like, I guess I don't forget names, I had guys like Leon Ruderman, who was like the CEO of Time Life magazine, taking an interest in me. He was probably 60, and he would show me things. And Erwin Tauber, who was a huge real estate guy, was always very generous with his time and tipping me to wash his cars, wash their boats. So I got to learn from these guys and emulate them and say, I want to be like them. These guys had the cars, the boats, the women, the houses, and that was the days that Miami Vice was coming out, and these guys, they were doing it legally. And I said, I got to be like them. And they took an interest in me because I worked hard, and it was a great experience. So I was always very happy to be there.
You come from a family of investors.
Yes.
Okay. Talk about that. So your father moved to South Florida. Was he doing what you're doing now?
No. So my father was an engineer out of college, and he worked for a company called Port Jefferson in New York. And he was an engineer, did the interior warehouse designs of supermarkets and grocery stores. And he lost his job, and I don't know if it was 79, 80, 81, right around then. I was very young. But he lost his job, and it was from one day to the next, you're out of work. So we started selling cars out of his house, and he would go buy cars, fix them up, and sell them so we could make some money.
Wow.
And we were certainly not in great shape financially then, but again, when you're young, you don't really know that. So we would sell the cars, and then from there, my dad started renting car lots, and then he started the car business, and he figured out there was more money renting car lots than actually operating them. So he had a few car lots. So that was his investing. He never really got into investing the way I do, where I became more of a landlord. He started doing it for car dealerships and realized I could retire off the rent. So that's what he basically did.
That's amazing. So he was an entrepreneur,
Oh, yeah.
right? Okay. Your mom was a housewife?
Yes.
Okay.
And an entrepreneur. She was a school teacher
Okay.
when she met my dad, and then, well, when she was married to my dad when she was younger. Then she was a stay-at-home mom, which was very typical. And then after my brother and I went off to college, she got that itch to do something business-wise. So she opened up 2 lingerie stores.
Oh, wow.
And she did that for a couple of years. And then she decided it's better to be a housewife and stay home and not work. So she gave that up.
Interesting. So the entrepreneur has been in your blood.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Wow.